Bone-chilling temperatures, feeling in the minus 20s, more snow on the way, and warming centers for those who need them. The outlook for the next few days.
After this morning's house fire in Oshawa, the search is on for a missing person. We'll tell you how the other 3 who managed to escape are doing.
An alleged hate crime on a TTC bus. We have the suspect's photo. Police need your help to find her.
And it's your chance to speak up before the 2026 budget is finalized. Public consultations are happening today and tomorrow. We have what you need to know this hour.
This is Live at 5. Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
And I'm Phil Perkins. You're watching Live at 5. We're going to be getting a brief break from the bitter cold tomorrow as snow moves in, but the cold will make a quick return.
Okay, the wind chill, it's been in the minus 20s all day. That's going to continue tonight. The high tomorrow could hit -1, but there's also a snowfall warning for Toronto for tomorrow, southern New York and southern Durham. It is expected to begin in the morning and end in the afternoon with around 10 centimeters expected. It'll also be windy, so visibility could be poor. The cold returns later in the week with Friday's high -11, and it will continue like that throughout the weekend.
Senior climatologist at Environment Canada, Dave Phillips, tells CP24 that we may have to wait until the first full week of February before we feel any relief from this intense cold.
What we're going to see is some Arctic air coming into the Toronto, really most of southern Ontario, southern Canada is going to see this very cold Arctic air. I don't know, we call it polar vortex. I don't go there. It's Siberian air, Alaskan air. It's just polar Arctic air. And what's sort of interesting is that what we're going to see the weekend, it's actually going to get colder. We're going to see temperatures highs during the day are -10, -12, should be -2, Jamie. So we're going to see temperatures that are 10 degrees colder than normal. And the coldest we've had so far this winter.
And the city's 2 warming centers are going to remain open as the deep freeze continues. One's at Jimmy Simpson Recreation Center. The other is Cecil Community Center. They provide an additional 60 spaces for people in need. Now, on Sunday night, the 5 full-time warming centers, they were over capacity. Warming centers give people a place to rest, shower, have a meal, or get a referral to a shelter.
I've been off and on homeless for a while, but not really much here. I've moved out of a place fell through at first, so I've technically not my first rodeo, but this is my first experience at a warming center.
And how was it? How was it last?
It's not bad. It's just cots, and it's not the greatest sleeping arrangements, but you can only get what the city has for funding, right? So and if it's only camped, then why should there be beds, right? Because cots are just easy to pack up and move.
It's, the worst case scenario is that it took a lot of years' experience of how to learn how to survive in it.
Okay, we mentioned it. Another bitterly cold night. This is ahead with the wind chill below -20. That's before a fresh blast of snow tomorrow.
Now, the cold is dangerous for those without shelter. CP24's Arda Zakarian joins us live with the latest on what the city is doing to help people get out of the freezing cold. Now, Arda, of course, you're out there. You've been out there for hours, but luckily you have somewhere to go to warm up your vehicle, a restaurant, somewhere like that, I hope. You're not just hanging out braving the cold.
Sure. Let's tell ourselves that as you sit nice and comfortably in the studio. Oh, what's the temperature like in there, guys? What is it, like
18, 20 or something?
Nice, balmy. Might as well be a palm tree next to you. We're out here in the cold. It doesn't matter how long you sit in your car. You never get warm enough. It is so cold out here. It is bitterly cold. Your face freezes, goes all prickly. With you right now is Reuven. Reuven has to catch the bus. It's going to come here any minute now. Our eyes are on the bus, so you don't miss it, Reuven. But tell me how you're dealing with the cold.
So just, as much warm clothes as possible. feeling the vibes. I recently came from abroad where it was hot as well. Just came back yesterday, so trying to retain all that as much as possible.
Where did you come from?
Israel.
Israel. And how warm was it there?
It was like 20 when I was leaving. It was wonderful. I was laughing all the way there when I saw that there was a snowstorm here. So
Now, what is this like for you after experiencing 20?
it's terrible. I want it to be warm again. I'm going to be honest.
Ruben, I have to tell you, you're not wearing a scarf. This is by choice?
Yes. I'm also too lazy to wear a scarf, I'll say. But yes.
Okay, and you don't have too far to go. Just the bus and then...
Yes, and then at home. So it's like the minimizing the amount of walking I need to do. So it's like a 5 minutes all in total.
Amazing. How does it make you feel coming out here and knowing that this is going to last for a little bit? We're not going back to Israel anytime soon.
Well, on the one hand, it's good, you know, because the winter's finally here. All the sports that you usually want to do and can't because past winters, you know, they always fail with the snow. But now it's cold and it's snowy, so you can finally have both the benefits of winter, not just the dry and nothing, you know?
Dry and nothing. I love that. Thank you so much for that, Ruben.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'll let you go. The bus isn't here yet, but I'll let you go so you don't miss it. Thank you so much. And so it's not just we are freezing out here for sure, but we're also thinking about the ones that are most vulnerable who spend the night. Can you imagine that? Spend the night outside. Now, the city has more outreach workers to check on those people who spend a lot of hours outside to make sure that they're okay, that they don't need to come inside. And if they do, they'll find a place for them. The city has opened up more warming centers, 2 more, because it reached minus 15. For sure it did. And so they had to open up a couple more. And they reached capacity, and they're actually over capacity in some places. However, they said that they're not going to reject anyone. And if some place is too full, then they'll figure out another warming center that you can go to that's not as full. So the city will take care of you if you need that. So lots going on today in terms of the cold. I myself have maybe 4 or 5 layers on. Matt Reed, who is my videographer, has 4, you can't see my fingers, but 4 jackets on. So that just tells you how cold it is today. Back to you.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Our heater's on. I can't hear anything you said. What? You said something. But yeah, you got a scarf? You got your toque? You got your...
Do you know the Michelin Man, how
Yes.
he can't really move properly? That's how I feel. Like it's
Perfect.
we're just limited movement, you know?
That's all
It's just
about.
there's too many layers happening on inside. It must be so nice to just be in a suit jacket inside.
nice.
Yes, multiple boots. We're all in. We're all in. Multiple layers underneath.
It's good. It's comfy. It's
Just
like being
for
in a
little-
sleeping
just
bag.
For fun. Just step outside, guys.
I did. I did walk to the car
It is like a
without
sleeping
my
bag.
jacket. I did walk to the car to get my jacket. That was enough
Oh.
for me. It was good.
Oh, and one more thing I forgot to tell you. We did have a sighting of Shorts Guy not long after I went on air. Shorts Guy did pass by. I tried to get him on camera, but he said, no. And he ran to the gym. That's where he is. So
That's definitely a father of
but
3.
Shorts Guy exists, and I saw him.
That's what's up. You got to do it. You got to do it at least once. All right, thanks so much, Art. I appreciate it.
Okay, Nadia Matos is with the CAA, and she talked to us about what drivers should be doing before hitting the road in extreme cold.
Make sure that you have an emergency kit with you, things that'll keep you warm, like a blanket, some non-perishable food items, a cell phone charger. All those things are kind of necessary if you're heading out on the road and doing long distances. And then you also just want to make sure, do I have my fluids topped up? Are my oils inside your vehicle? And, is your tire pressure, at the manufacturer specification? All those things are things that you have to think about when it gets this cold.
And with that, let's say hello to our traffic specialist, Adrian Tia, about how roads are looking right now.
Yeah, Phil, it has not been an easy go for commuters, especially if you're making your way out on the Gardner, spotting some problems impacting the drive this hour. So if you're on the Gardner trying to get out of the downtown core via those westbound lanes, you're running into a little bit of snag that's going to create a bit of a delay. So this is the Gardner westbound just as you make your way on the approach to the South Kings. We actually just passed it. Left lane blocked. They're saying it's a stalled vehicle. Looks more like a collision to me. But if you're trying to get out of the downtown core, very, very backed up from well before Jarvis. And then if your travels take you on to the QE QEW. This is on the QEW if you're making your way Niagara bound, just as you head west of Winston Churchill. It is a stalled vehicle. Left lane and shoulder is blocked, but there's a lot of fire crews that are on scene of this one. And we still have problems on the Toronto-bound QEW. For some reason, MTO zoomed out, but Toronto-bound QEW through Cawthra, only the left lane getting by for some much earlier problems involving a flatbed truck. So it is creating all sorts of delays for drivers coming into and out of Mississauga. We are dealing with problems that I can't see if your travels take you out towards Kitchener along the 401 westbound of 401 out at Homer Watson. Crews on scene of a collision that is blocking the left lane as well as the left shoulder. I'll send it back to you.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
Thank you very much, Adge. Okay, one person remains unaccounted for after an overnight house fire in Oshawa.
CTV's Allison Hurst joins us live from the scene. This is on Bloor near Simcoe. Allison.
That's right, Bakari, and that area of Bloor does still remain closed. I'll just point that out first off here. There is a large sheet of ice on Bloor Street now where the fire trucks were at one point. All that water that they were pouring onto the house all day has frozen, so they have called in the region to come and treat it. Until that happens, this area of Bloor Street will remain closed to keep vehicles, drivers, families safe. So the latest in terms of the house fire is that, as you can see there just behind me, there's all really that's left is rubble, pieces of the house. They had to bring in an excavator to dig through it to try and get to the source of the fire where it was burning and try and put out all of those hot spots. So that was done late this afternoon after some investigation was done where they were able to peer inside the big hole in the roof to try and have a look and see what the conditions were in the house. We do know from fire officials that there were multiple units inside this home and that it was in a hoarder condition is how it was described to us. So from neighbors, we understand that there was anywhere from 7 or 8 people who had been living here. Fire and police crews have told us that there were 6 people who came outside of the house. 3 of them were escaped without injury. 3 others did have to be taken to hospital. Police say that they were treated for smoke inhalation, but there is still 1 person who remains unaccounted for. Police do not know whether that person was inside the home or perhaps somewhere else. They're still trying to track him down. They do know that he lived inside the house, and so they have identified him and they are looking for him, but they have not been able to confirm whether or not he was inside. Crews just couldn't get inside today. That fire was a stubborn one. It started at about 4 o'clock this morning and continued to burn for hours all morning. Here's a little bit more from police.
Right now, our criminal investigators are working alongside the Ontario Fire Marshal, who is currently on standby, just to determine whether there was anything criminal in nature. And of course, if that male who is unaccounted for does, we do find out that he was in the residence, our investigators will be looking at exactly what transpired to, ascertain how he passed away, if he passed away. But like I said, he's unaccounted for. It does not mean that he's in the home. We're just currently looking for him, and he could be anywhere.
So it certainly was a challenging day for fire crews, not just trying to deal with putting out that fire, but also dealing with what we're all experiencing and what everyone is talking about today, the cold weather. Crews tell us that they did have about 4 trucks here overnight, and they were able to cycle through different firefighters being able to do the work, others taking a rest and then swapping out. That did happen throughout the early morning hours, and then they had a fresh crew come out and send everyone home and sort of switch off as they continued the work. But still lots left here to be done. There are both the Ontario Fire Marshal and Durham Regional Police Criminal Investigations Unit. They're on standby right now, waiting to get a call, see if they're going to be needed. And again, they're just trying to track down this one unaccounted for individual. Now that this house has been torn down this way, it will give them an opportunity to go in and have a look to find out what may have caused it and where. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. I'll send it back inside to you.
Okay, coming to us from Oshawa, CTV's Allison Hurst. Thank you. Well, Toronto police have released the image of a woman wanted in a suspected hate crime investigation.
Yeah, it follows an incident on a TTC bus. We're joined live now in studio by CP24 crime analyst Steve Arnn with a closer look at this case. So what are you picking up for what police are saying? What happened back in the summertime?
So the allegations are that on a TTC bus back on July the 19th, the woman whose picture we've just showed on our screen here, she is now a suspect in this hate-motivated assault. We're showing her picture right now. So the allegations are that this woman made derogatory remarks towards another person because that person was speaking a language other than English, and then they made remarks towards their place of origin, and then followed up those remarks with the dousing of water on that person's face. And as a result of that, it's an assault. You would say minor assault, but when you put that assault with the remarks that were made saying that it was hate motivated, it certainly is a concern for investigators as they try to track down this woman.
Okay, along with that, let's talk about the timeline. This happened over the summer.
Happened in July, and we're getting this information now, and it could be one of a few things. Perhaps the police just got this surveillance video now. Maybe they got it cleaned up, or the complainant may have come forward not too long ago. But regardless, there is a statute of limitations, but you can work this investigation around that and get around that 6-month statute of limitation and proceed by another means without getting into the weeds. But there certainly is a lot of time on the clock, if you will, to lay this criminal charge.
And so with that, because from what we read in the news release yesterday, that the suspect walked along overly, like away whether to home or work, what could police do in their investigation? Maybe try to run into them again?
Well, I think what will happen is once this image is released, and we've been releasing this all day, people who know her will certainly notify the police as to her name, where she may work, where she may live. And in an investigation like this, you're not a witness, and you can just provide a name, you can remain anonymous, and the police will follow up with any leads.
And see, let's talk about the allegations and potential charges. She threw water on the victim.
Yeah, it's water, but it is by definition still an assault. And if you couple the throwing of water with the remarks that were made towards this person as a result of their place of origin, that makes it a hate-related crime. So a hate crime is not a crime in and of itself. The offense is assault. If this woman were to be convicted of an assault in court, the Crown could ask the court to look at that hate motivation as an aggravating factor. So when it comes to sentencing, you could get a stiffer sentence as a result of this, what would appear to be a minor assault, but the aggravating factor is that it was done, according to police, as a result of the place of origin where the victim was born.
All right, Steve Ryan, thanks so much for clearing that up. We appreciate it.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
it is 5:16. Feels like minus 23. Watching live at 5.
And up next, a Toronto hospital network will double its unique permanent housing program for homeless people. All levels of government, they're coming together to build Dunn House Phase 2, a supportive housing initiative in Parkdale. It's run by the University Health Network.
CP24's Melissa Duggan joining us live with more on today's announcement. Melissa.
Hey there, Phil Bakari. We're outside the UHN network building where this announcement was made a little earlier today in Parkdale, and that is where we're going to see the second phase of this project take place. And of course, on a bitterly cold day like this, there is focus for good reason on making sure that everyone has a warm place to get to. Well, this is kind of in that idea. The focus here also is about making sure that people understand that housing is healthcare, that showing up at a hospital, that really making sure that you have good health begins before that. It happens in the community. We're looking back at phase 1 of Dunn House. That kicked off in October of 2024. At that time in Parkdale, we saw 51 units open up to people with rent to geared to income housing and really getting some special supports that they wouldn't have received in other locations. You have doctors on hand, nurses on hand, a number of other professional healthcare workers on hand as well, giving people who are experiencing homelessness that extra bit of help that they may need. Now, phase 2 is set to open. Construction set to begin before the end of the year. Today, we're hearing from all 3 levels of government how they're kicking in funding to make sure that this could be a reality. And they're learning more about the real positive outcomes that they're seeing in phase 1 of Dunn House. Dr. Andrew Bazari, he is a key leader in this project. Here's some of the positive outcomes that they're seeing. Have a listen.
We looked at the data of how having housing can really interrupt what we call this doom loop for people that are going into the emergency department because they have nowhere else to go or their conditions are getting worse. We were on the promise that housing can help break that, as well as the supports, the social supports, the healthcare supports, from psychiatry to mental health and addictions to community supports, have really played a pivotal role now in seeing a reduction in emergency departments by 52%. We saw a 79% reduction in hospital bed days. And it's really about integrating this health and social care around people who have been marginalized, who have been without housing for many, many decades.
The federal housing minister on hand for today's announcement, the provincial housing minister, Mayor Olivia Chow, just a few of the officials who were here for all of this. Part of the investment, we're going to see some $21 million coming from Ottawa. That's for the construction of this site. $2.6 million, that's coming from the province. That's to help operating costs here. $10 million coming from the city of Toronto. And we're not clear on exactly when it's going to be open again, Phil and Bakari, but construction, again, set to begin before the end of the year. Back to you.
Okay, reporting live, CP24's Melissa Duggan. Right now it's 5:21, minus 12. This is Live at 5.
Up after the break, the city's budget committee is hearing from Torontonians today and tomorrow.
Residents are getting a chance today to comment on Toronto's proposed 2026 budget.
Yeah, CP24's Andrew Brennan has been listening in at the budget committee meeting at City Hall and joins us live. Andrew.
Hey guys, and the best part about it being near the dinner hour is the amount of listening that I'm doing. It's the lunch break right now. So that means that I can give at least a rundown of what's happened, what people do want. The problem that people are going to have, and this is something you're going to be hearing from over the course of this afternoon and evening from the councillors we've spoken to, when it comes to the wiggle room in this budget, there's not a lot to play with. Let's not forget this is a 2.2% property tax increase here, and that's a lot less than the first year of Olivia Chow. After you subtract the amount of money that's used for capital works and otherwise, basically $35 million being added. And just the amount that the police budget's supposed to go up this year is almost $100 million. Same thing for the TTC. So here you're going to hear some folks that came down to City Hall, or by the way, you can go a few other places. I'll talk about that in a second. But they came down to City Hall to get to have their voices heard because they say that there's things that the city needs to do that can't be lost as we are looking at an election year and appeasing everyone.
We must protect Toronto's long-term care capacity.
Accessible and affordable housing does not exist in the City of Toronto.
If we continue funding shelters without employment pathways, we will continue funding that revolving door.
So some of the other things that we've heard people talking about that they want to see more funding secured for arts funding. There's also more people talking about the winter service plan, and there were even people that were speaking at committees yesterday. I did say that there's ways to speak to the city, not just here. There are other meetings being done at the same time and all being tied together virtually at just about all the old city halls or civic centers now for the former boroughs. So whether it's North York, Etobicoke, or otherwise, you can get your you can't actually have your voice heard now because the speakers list is done. But you can attempt to submit for later or future, or potentially use the online submission forms, but have a listen if you do so choose. So this is not done. Democracy is at work tonight, guys. So budget committee being heard tonight as well as tomorrow. Some thoughts from the citizenry, and then the budget, of course, being presented in the new month. I'll send it back to you for now.
All right, Andrew Brennan, thank you very much. Appreciate that. It is 5:26, feels like minus 23, watching Live at 5.
And we are dealing with extreme cold temperatures in the GTA. Coming up, we're going to take a look at how to keep our pets safe during the deep freeze. As you deal with the extreme cold, it brings risks for our four-legged friends as well as people.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Pet owners can take steps to keep their animals warm and safe, including learning about the dangers of extreme temperatures, buying weather-resistant accessories, and stocking up on extra supplies in case of power outages due to storms. Blair Budgell from the OSPCA joined us with more.
It depends on the coat. That's a great way to put it. It depends on the animal for sure. So really knowing your pet and kind of seeing those signs of when they're starting to get cold. But short walks, as long as they can go out and they can take care of business, bring them back inside and do lots of things with them inside as you can, they'll be great.
Budgell says that if you plan to use booties on your dog to protect from cold and salt, make sure you spend time practicing ahead of time and also continue to put them on them from time to time all year long to keep your pet used to wearing them.
Yeah, because it's not fun. Not fun to do. It's 5:29, feels like minus 23. You're watching Live at 5.
One person's unaccounted for. 3 people are injured after a house fire in Oshawa. We'll have an update on the search next.
Bone-chilling temperatures, feeling in the minus 20s, and more snow on the way at warming centers for those who need them the most. The outlook for the next couple days coming up.
And after this morning's house fire in Oshawa, the search is on for a missing person. We're going to tell you how the other 3 who managed to escape are doing.
An alleged hate crime on a TTC bus. We have the suspect's photo. Police need your help to find her.
Your chance to speak up before the 2026 budget is finalized. Public consultations happening today and tomorrow. We have what you need to know this hour.
This is Live at 5. Good evening. I'm Phil Perkins.
I'm Bakari Savage. Welcome to Live at 5. One person remains unaccounted for. This is after an overnight house fire in Oshawa.
CTV's Allison Hurst joins us live from the scene on Bloor near Simcoe.
Yes, hi, good evening. Yes, they are still looking for that one resident. They have confirmed for us that he did live in this building. They don't have any idea whether he was actually in the house at the time or perhaps somewhere else. But police say they have identified him and they are looking for him. Now, there were 6 other people in the home at the time. 3 of them escaped without injuries. 3 others were taken to hospital, all being treated for smoke inhalation. Police did confirm for us that they were in stable condition. Now, this investigation has been going on all day. The fire started at about 4 o'clock this morning, and they were still pouring water on it until later in the morning, 6, 7 o'clock. They were still trying to deal with hot spots, still trying to deal with flames coming through the roof and heavy smoke in this area. So crews were unable to get inside at the time. They did have to do defensive overnight or early this morning when it started, and basically just had to let it burn through, try and put it out, and wait until they could get in. They did call in an excavator, and what you can see behind me, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I know it's getting a little bit dark now, but it's just sort of a pile of what's left of that house. They had to bring in this excavator to come in and dig through to find and identify any hot spots. Police have told us that they don't believe there's anything leading them to suggest it's suspicious. Here's a little bit more from officers.
It's my understanding that there were 6 individuals in total. 3 were transported with the minor injuries, and there is 1 male, making a total of 7 that was unaccounted for. Sorry. So at this point, the investigation is very early on. We have nothing to indicate whether it's suspicious or not. That's something our investigators will be looking at and working closely with the Ontario Fire Marshal if they are deemed necessary to come in, just to confirm whether or not this fire was of criminal nature.
Right, so you heard a little bit there that the criminal investigators and the Ontario Fire Marshal, they're on standby to help with this investigation if needed, to help them if they don't find this person who's missing, and perhaps they do find any remains inside the house. Again, they don't know whether he was actually in the house at the time. We did speak with some neighbors who said that they woke up to the fire early this morning. One of them said that there was one of the residents was banging on her neighbor's door and asked for the neighbor gave him a jacket and some shoes, and then he was taken to hospital for smoke inhalation. So it was quite frightening for a lot of people here in this area. Police did confirm that there were multiple units inside this house, that there was hoarding conditions inside the house as well. So there were a lot of people living here, anywhere from 6, 7, some number like that. Number has not been confirmed to us, but that's what neighbors have told us. And so yes, now the investigation continues. We have yet to hear any confirmation as to what the cause was or where it started. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all those details, Allison. Okay, moving on now. Toronto police have released an image of a woman wanted in a suspected hate crime investigation. It follows an incident on a TTC bus.
And now we are joined live in studio by CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan with a close look at the case. So, Steve, police are putting this image out of the suspect.
Yeah, that's right, because she is now the suspect in a hate-motivated assault. So the assault on its face appears to be mild, if you will. And the allegations are that the victim and the suspect were on a TTC bus near Overley and Thorncliffe on July the 19th. There were derogatory remarks made towards the victim with regards to their place of origin, the place of birth, and then water was thrown on the victim. So water being thrown at somebody is, by definition, an assault. You'd say on its face, it's a minor assault, but given the allegations being that it appears to be hate motivated, that makes it even more disturbing, and this is why the police have now released the picture of this woman, and they're asking for the public's assistance in identifying who she is.
And this happened in July, so let's say they do find her, the photos out there. what happens next to her? Because it happened months ago.
Well, you can be charged.
Yeah.
You can be arrested, charged, and released on a recognizance, depending on if you've got a criminal record or not. And the investigation will go on from there. The main part would be the victim's account as to what's happened, the witnesses who may be on that bus, who may not realize they were witnesses until they see this picture on our screen here, and then the evidence will be argued out in court. So she could be arrested, charged, and released that same day, and then attend court and face these serious allegations.
And Steve, let's talk about that, the role of the witnesses, because again, as both of you pointed out, this happened over the summer.
Yeah, oftentimes witnesses don't realize that they're witnesses to a criminal offense, or they may see something and go about their day, and then it's the victim who proceeds later on with a complaint to the police, and then seeing our program here, seeing this on the news, seeing this picture, not even recognizing the person, but hearing the allegations and witnessing water being thrown on somebody on a bus. That's something that doesn't happen every day. That could jog their memory, and then they could contact the police and then come in and provide witness statements for the investigators.
All right. Steve Ryan, thanks so much. Appreciate that, sir.
Good.
Okay, right now it's 5:38. Let's get a check on the roads with CP24's traffic specialist, Oshawa and Oshawa.
Well, thank you so much, Bakari. And we still are dealing with quite a few problems if you're starting your drive out this hour. So we'll start with issues that are impacting the drive now on the Toronto-bound QEW just as you make your way past Cawthra. Crews remain on scene of this collision that's still there blocking, looks like mostly the center lane, but a piece of that left lane is also impacted. Very, very slow on the approach. And then on the Gardners, you try to make your way out of the downtown core via the westbound lanes. We are still dealing with problems that have the left lane blocked. Very slow from well before Jarvis. Traveling into Milton on the westbound lanes of the 401. This is through James Snow Parkway. CHOV lane that is blocked out following a collision. And it looks like we do have a stall. And here it is. This is the eastbound 401 happening in the collectors just as you make your way east of Yonge. It is a stalled vehicle and it does have that right lane and shoulder occupied. Now I'm going to send it over to Samantha TC at the TTC Control Center. I know, Samantha, we were hearing that there are problems on TTC Line 6 now and also signal issues on Line 2.
Thanks, Adjoa. So we are dealing with an issue on Line 6. Service has been suspended between Tobermory and the North Finch Oakdale stations while we deal with a mechanical issue on a train. So shuttle buses are running on the entire stretch from Finch West to the Humber College stations. Now, good news is there is no more issues along Line 2 with smooth sailing underground on Lines 1, 2, and 4. Now, looking at service later tonight, though, we do have a planned subway closure on the portion of Line 1 starting at 11 p.m. between Finch and Eglinton stations for some tunnel work. Shuttle buses will run along Yonge Street with regular service resuming tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And that's it for us today. Back to you.
Okay, joining us live from the TTC Transit Control Center, Samantha TC. Okay, we're getting a brief break from the bitter cold. That's going to be tomorrow. This as the snow moves in, but the cold is going to make a quick return.
Yeah, in a big way. I will say, though, it's really cold, but a very clear evening. The wind chill feels like minus 23 right now. It'll continue into tonight. The high tomorrow is going to bump up a little bit to minus 1, but there's also a snowfall warning for Toronto, southern York region, and southern Durham. It's expected to start in the morning and in the afternoon. We're going to get around 10 centimeters of snow, about half what we got last week. But it'll also be windy, so visibility will be an issue. Cold returns later in the week with Friday. The high is minus 11, and it'll continue like that throughout the weekend.
And senior climatologist at Environment Canada, Dave Phillips, tells CP24 that we may have to wait until the first full week of February before we're going to feel any relief from the intense cold.
It's the duration. And that's what worries me. So far, we've had, bouts of maybe 6 days of temperatures below freezing. We had one of those in mid-December. We had one at the end of December, early January. This one is, as far as I can see, 18 days where we won't see a thawing temperature. And so, my gosh, even next week where it tries to warm up, then there's an Arctic resupply of cold air to kind of freshen it up and to strengthen that weakened temperature.
Nadia Matos is with the CAA and spoke with us about what drivers should be doing before hitting the road in this extreme cold.
Really keeping on top and dialed in on what that weather is like, making sure that the roads that you're going on, they're the main roads and that they're well plowed, and planning out your route ahead of time and making sure that you give yourself plenty of time and that you're dressed according to the weather conditions. And again, that you pack your emergency kit before you head out.
Another bitterly cold night ahead with the wind chill below -20. This is before that fresh blast of snow comes tomorrow.
CP24's Arda Zakarian joins us live with the latest on how Toronto residents are coping with the cold. We know how you are. We've seen other reporters out in the field this last half hour. Arda, you're wearing the most layers out of everybody, and I think for good reason. You got to stay warm.
I think I'm wearing 3 hats. I have my hat, and then I have my hood, and then I have my jacket hood too. But you know, you lose the most heat out of your head, so you got to keep that warm to keep the rest of your body warm, right? But in my mind, Phil, I'm on a beach. The sun is shining. There are palm trees. This is all happening in my dreams, in my mind. And dreaming is free, but the cold right now is slapping me out of that dream, literally. So it actually, with that wind chill hitting your face, it's stinging your skin. When you smile, your teeth start hurting. If you're here for a long period of time, the edges of your toes and your fingers start freezing too. Yesterday, I took my son tobogganing and he lost his glove and he started crying because he finally, he's only 5 years old. So for the first time ever, he felt how painful it is, how painful cold is on your hand when you don't have a glove on for a long period of time. You know what kind of pain I'm talking about, the kind of pain that only hot water can relieve. So we had a chance to talk to so many people in our city on Yonge Street, that's where I'm at now, and how they're dealing with the cold. Here they are.
I have the fur around here. It keeps my ears warm, and to be honest, my hair gets really flat if I do wear a hat, so you gotta make a sacrifice somewhere, right? I'm just wearing a lot of clothes. I'm wearing long sleeves and a sweater and a jacket and another hat underneath this.
How do you feel when it's this cold outside?
Not good. I want it to be summer.
The wind is bad. The wind chills are bad actually. That's why. Yeah.
Are you warm and everything, or do you think you could be warmer?
I think I'm warm enough.
What about your face?
Yeah. The face is the one part where I'm getting the hit of the wind a lot. So that's something which I'm not able to keep warm. Maybe I need something more on my face, but otherwise I'm warm enough.
Let's also talk about what the city is doing. They opened up a couple more warming centers. This is because we reached temperatures of -15, and the warming centers that were open were at capacity, so they needed to. Now, even though they are full, they are saying that they will not turn anybody away. They will find space for the people that need it. And they also have more outreach workers out today checking to see if the people who choose to spend the night outside are doing so safely, that they are warm enough, and if they are cold and they want to get inside somewhere, that they'll offer that up to them too and bring them someplace safe, someplace warm, and give them something warm to eat as well. Now, you know, I'm standing outside in the cold right now, but very soon, in about 24 hours, so will you, Phil and Bakari, because you have your Whitby show coming up here outside. So you'll experience the same kind of temperature that I am for an extended period of time. And that makes me happy.
Sorry to be a bummer. It's going to be inside. It's going to be inside at a gym, like at a rec center. Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, I know. Maybe we'll open a door. Hey, I have like a 15-minute walk to school, Arda. It's like, that's kind of tough.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay. Just make it 30 minutes. Just
Make
so
it 30
even.
minutes. Hey, I covered ice wine harvest back in the day. It has to be real cold to do that. My eyelashes were frozen shut. Like, it was that cold. So I know how you feel. I know how you feel.
All right,
I want to
reporting
see
by
the tape.
CP24's Arda Zakarian. It's 5:45, -12. This is Live at 5.
Up ahead, we're learning more about the Canadian woman found dead in Australia on the weekend.
We're learning more about the Canadian woman found dead in Australia on the weekend.
And we now have her ID. The victim has been identified as 19-year-old Piper James. Her family from British Columbia tells CTV News that she had been backpacking through Australia with a close friend. She has reportedly been working in the area where she was found on a beach in Gari, formerly known as Fraser Island, surrounded by a pack of dingoes. She reportedly had told friends she was going for an early morning swim. Police say she had been interfered with by the dogs, but it's not clear yet if the animals caused her death.
A female person was located deceased. 2 male persons had been driving south from up near Orchard Beach and seen a large pack of dingoes, approximately 10 dingoes, near an object, and upon closer inspection saw that it was in fact a female person at the scene.
Well, about 200 dingoes roam free on the island and are a protected native species at the national park. The younger animals have become more aggressive and less fearful of humans since tourists returned in large numbers following the COVID-19 pandemic.
So at 5:49 feels like minus 23. You're watching Live at 5.
And up after the break, the city's budget committee is hearing from residents today and tomorrow.
Welcome back. A day after the federal gun buyback program began, Toronto police say, though, that they're not participating.
The police service says it requested further information, but no operationally viable plan was presented. The service also says its greatest impact on public safety includes targeting criminals who use illegal firearms, particularly those entering Canada from the U.S. Now, the federal government has said its gun buyback program aims to reduce the number of banned assault-style weapons in circulation across the country.
Switching gears, our residents are getting a chance today to comment on Toronto's proposed 2026 budget.
CP24's Andrew Brennan has been listening this during the budget committee meeting at City Hall, joining us live. Andrew, there's also an opportunity for residents to, speak their minds, right?
Yeah. It's actually, it's called Find Andrew at City Hall and go talk to him when the microphone's pointed at you, because we really like your perspective anyway. But yes, you are right, Bakari. We do have a chance for people, joking aside, to have their say. The problem is, and I don't want to be funny here after making a joke, if you're listening right now and you're thinking, I want to tell the city how I think money should be spent, there's no room left on the speakers list, so you can't actually get your voice heard now. But there are a bunch of people that already have signed up, and they have talked about a lot of different things that they want to see money spent on, or more importantly, money currently that is being spent not be lost. So we've heard from people talking about arts funding, talking about long-term care and how the city operates in terms of public health as well. These are some of the areas that we've heard talk about. The problem becomes, how do you pay for that when this is a cash-strapped city? It's one that has billions of dollars in unaccounted for potential capital works projects for decades to come. There's a funding gap if there's no renegotiation of the deal with the province. And we have a 2.2% property tax proposed, tax increase proposed this year versus 6 or 9%, which is a lot for a homeowner to bear. But you're accounting now for roughly $35 million being added to the operational budget from this tax increase. And that's about it. So there's not much more room, wiggle room, as it were. And speaking of wiggle room, you're going to hear right now councillors talking about that.
I'm not sure that there is a lot of wiggle room, given that there's consensus that we're living in an affordability crisis. There's the pressure of the tariff situation, an unstable environment, and the fact that the mayor made a commitment that after 2 years of significant property tax increases, this year would be about consolidating the wins that have been made.
The consultations continue tonight and tomorrow. Back to you both.
CP24's Andrew Brennan live from City Hall.
Well, the latest inflation numbers show that some food prices are soaring compared to last year.
Overall grocery price growth held steady from November to December, but we're up 5%. This is compared to the same time last year. Coffee and beef still were the key drivers of the increase. The cost of fresh and frozen beef jumped 13.5% from 2024.
It's my two favorite things. It's 5:55, feels like minus 23. You're watching Live at 5.
Well, coming up, tickets go on sale later this week for the Jays' upcoming season. That's when the team's going to celebrate its 50th anniversary. But the Blue Jays home opener is just over 2 months away. Tickets go on sale Thursday.
Fired up.
A swing and a fly ball to left field. Back goes Arozarena. She's gone!
Still remember that moment like it was yesterday with last season's incredible World Series run still fresh on our minds. The Jays will return home March 27th to host the Athletics. The team will get another chance to celebrate winning the American League Championship with a special pregame ceremony at the home opener. This year's extra special because it's also celebrating the team's 50th season, which of course means new logo on merchandise that I will be putting on my birthday list. While single game tickets for the upcoming season go on sale Thursday, season ticket holders get access tomorrow. Got to keep the good times rolling, Bakari.
You have season tickets?
No. No. I would get partials,
Yeah.
but I don't go that much. I'd like to go more. It
But
sounds
this
bad.
is the 50th season,
This is
bro.
it. I know, and they got the new merch. I got 2 boys now.
Yeah.
Bring them all. Get them all the dollar dogs or whatever they are.
All right, it's 5:59 minus 12. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24.
When we come back, the extreme cold continues in the GTA. The snow going to be expected to impact the morning commute with a yellow snowfall warning issued for Toronto and parts of the GTA.
Thank you for watching. CTV News at 6 is next.